Hi there, folks, and welcome back to Ukes with podcast. It's me, Alex, and my guest today is one of my favourite people in the music industry, somebody that I've become really good friends with over the last couple of years. It's Kaimana Souza. How you doing, Kaimana?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. I've been really wanting to do this. When I
Same.
started the idea, when I said, okay, I'm going to do this podcast, you were the second name I wrote down. And the first name I wrote down was somebody who I actually haven't managed to convince to do it yet. So nothing personal against you, but you were definitely in my list. And I'm delighted that you took the time. I mean, it's morning where you are, and I think it's bedtime where I am. Is that right?
Yep. Well, I'm just happy to have made the list at all.
Yeah, well, it's great. It's great. You're definitely on my list. So for those of you watching now that are going, who's Kaimana Souza? Well, you should know. Shame on you, because Kaimana is part of the Souza family and very heavily involved working at Kanile'a Ukuleles. Kanile'a, the brand that I like to talk about in the Southern Ukulele Store videos all the time. But Kaimana, if you could just introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about yourself and where you're at.
Sure, yeah. Again, Kaimana Souza here. Oldest son of Joe and Kristen Souza, the original founders of Kanile'a Ukuleles. Grew up in the industry, in the business my entire life. You know, I think as far back as I can remember, I was going to ukulele festivals. I was fortunate enough to visit SUS. I think I was still in high school when I first visited SUS. You know, wasn't really part of the industry yet. I was kind of just tagging along with my parents. But after college, took a really heavy step into the business, and now I'm director of sales and marketing. I get to work with people like Alex on a daily basis, you know, just spreading aloha, spreading joy through our instruments, getting to create wonderful instruments like that one I see sitting on the couch right there.
Yeah, man.
You know,
We'll
work together, collaborate. Yeah. Oh, sweet. That looks so good.
The lighting really helps.
Oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, man. You guys have the best koa and the best mango now. You can claim to have both.
Yeah.
That was actually, I'm glad you talked about growing up in the business, because that was the question I really wanted to ask. As somebody that didn't grow up in the music industry, for yourself, was it always in your head that one day you would work for the family business and continue what your mum and dad are doing? And you know, obviously you studied business, and so was it always with the goal of going into the ukulele industry?
Well, for most of my life, childhood, middle school, early high school, the idea was yes. But when I went to college, actually, you know, there were other things that interested me, and for a little while, not necessarily was I focused on being part of the family business. And I'm not ashamed to say it, but after I think it was about 3 years of doing some stuff on my own, working in tourism industry in California, I realized, like, this sucks. Like I want to be with my parents, work with my brothers, you know, and give back to what has given me so much throughout my life, being the business, and using my business degree to make a difference in the world with music, with reforestation, and now looking back on those 3 years, I was glad I was able to do that, but being back in the business 100%, like you, working 13 hours a day, you know, it's satisfying, and there's nothing that I'd rather be doing.
Yeah, but you know, those years where you were not involved in the music industry and looking elsewhere, they just give you a finer appreciation for how wonderful it is to have that avenue to go down, for sure. You know, it's when you discover that I'm guessing you're mid-20s now, aren't you? How old are you? About 25?
I'll be 27 at the end of this month.
So yeah, you look younger to me, but also you're quite a tall guy, so I guess 25. I was pretty proud of that I was that close, but yeah. I mean, just being around it all those years, and I mean, your earliest memories then. So, I mean, you were about 2, 3 when your parents started the company. Is that right?
When the company officially started, I was 5.
5, sorry.
But no, my dad was building from, like, we had saws in the garage and instruments from the, like, as early as I can remember. The music, especially, my dad was actually more of a musician than a builder in the very beginning. He was doing falsetto contests. I'm not too sure if many people know that he has an amazing falsetto voice. So that was the earliest memories, are more so on the music side, him singing and playing.
Has he always been an 8-string man? I always think of him, I think of 8-string ukuleles, right?
Yep. 8-string, multi-string, that's it.
It makes sense, because if you look at the design, the Kanile'a design, you know, the wider nuts and the slightly the neck shape, it's kind of an 8-string, 4-string neck. So it makes sense.
You know,
I just
that 5-string that you folks were able to pick up after our trip to Europe, I think that was probably the first instrument that wasn't an 8-string that he like played.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
How interesting that that's what he likes, because you know there's a real delicate nature to a Kanile'a, and the 8-strings they always feel so reinforced. And maybe I say that as a 4-string player, but I mean, you've got to have pretty strong hands and resolve to play an 8-string all the time. You know?
Oh yeah, it's tough. You know, that grip.
Yeah. So growing up around it and kind of dividing your time away and going to California. At some point, were you managing the Islander brand of ukuleles as well? Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah. Yes. That was kind of right after I had left the hotel that I was working at. We transplanted the Islander brand from here locally in Hawaii to there in Southern California to service. It's just kind of a better place for it, as far as staying there on the continent. And I was doing that for, I want to say, almost 3 years or 2 years. It was about 2 years managing the Islander brand before I came home back to Hawaii. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose you left paradise, and it makes sense to go back. That's what everyone from outside of Hawaii says, you know.
When I was there, everyone's like, why did you leave, dude?
Yeah, I suppose what a way to cut when you come home. It's I mean, just a jaw-dropping change. I mean, what part of California were you based in?
In Santa Ana, so right south of Anaheim. Yeah.
It's not. It's congested, but it's not. It's not the most congested, and
it's not Santa Monica or downtown. So but definitely more cars and more people than I was used to.
Yeah, it's a real. It's not what you need at the end of a 10-hour, 11-hour flight. When you straight into that traffic. When you folks fly in. I remember the first time I went to LA, I was really excited. And now I just think, oh no, I've got to rent a car in a minute. But I'll move on. You mentioned kind of working with your brothers more. Are your brothers both? You're the eldest, but your brothers both heavily involved in Kanile'a with you now? And do you kind of cross-pollinate your roles? Do you work together?
Yeah, they're both 100% in the business now. Eokepa, the middle, so my next youngest brother, he is a numbers guy. Like, I don't even try to do math in my head if he's near me, because then I just tell him, what is this? And he spits it right out. So he really focuses on finance, administration stuff like HR, lease agreements, contracts. And so he really loves all that paperwork and numbers.
He also does he do some staining work as well? He's doing, is that your other brother?
That's Kahiao. So Kahiao, Yeah, so
He's
Kahiao,
stunning. He's amazing.
yeah, he's definitely the artist amongst the three of us. Also the best musician amongst the three of us.
Okay.
And he and I work more closely on the marketing side. Um, so Yokep and I mean, we work together, but Kahiao and I work closer regarding marketing. Um, like pretty much any photo that has been seen, like the one right behind you on the beach, that's him. Pretty much any photo that's been put out there within the past year and a half uh, has been done by Kahiao. Videos as well, and then yep, like you said, he's really getting involved in the building.
Great.
So he's gonna be the next Joe, as far as building and playing and that sort of thing.
Oh, how lovely for all of you that your whole family have your own your
Mhm.
own defined role that you excel at, and you can all
Yeah.
work so harmoniously. I think I'm jealous of that. So many people, you're so envious of that. That's lovely. And having, I don't want to kind of rabbit on, but I've been to the Martin factory and the Fender factory. I've done quite a lot of factory tours in my time. And at Martin, they like to talk about the kind of family, the handing down the line from generation to the next is so important. And I know from speaking to your dad, who's probably one of the most passionate people to talk about their products ever. I love interviewing him because he can just talk for 20 minutes and you'll learn 20 minutes of new information. So,
Mhm.
just having that family line and having something to grow into is great. And with the platinum model this year, you were a lot of the theme of that instrument is the lineage. Is that right?
Yep, exactly. Prior to this year, our platinums had mostly been just creations from Joe, new ideas, new designs, new specs. We put out a totally new build aspect, like a new headstock, new bracing, that sort of thing, and we wanted to continue that with the 2020 platinum. Our skills as luthiers, my brothers and myself, that is, we're not 100% to that level where we can design a new bracing shape, but the design aspect, so the inlay that's on the soundboard, that was my input. uh, a lot of the specifications were a collaborative input as opposed to a single person's input, and so we thought it was a fitting time to represent that, represent being able to collaborate on it as a family, as business owners too, and also sticking true to our Hawaiian-ness,
Yeah.
with that traditional design. That's a traditional design that was used by Hawaiians, um, as far back as history goes, really. So it's not necessarily like we came up with that design, or that patterning, but we utilized it
Yeah.
and interpreted it in our own way, with with representing knowledge from the past. Because if we were to say this is only representative of our family, that's not fair, because my dad learned how to build and play from somebody outside of our family.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we wanted to represent the knowledge through generations within everybody's family. All of our builders, they're not our they are our family now, but not blood family, and who knows what they might end up doing with what they've learned from us.
Yeah.
And so just passing that knowledge through, and our family being a vehicle for that knowledge, is what we really wanted to represent, and making a killer ukulele at the same time.
Yeah. So you want to show off what you can do. whilst taking that mixing bowl of ideas from the past and from your own minds and inspirations and putting them together. I love that model. I think I can tell that model it's expensive, but it's underpriced. You can tell, as somebody that I see probably as much Kanile'a as anybody day to day. I mean, that platinum for the 2020 kind of that model is spectacular. I'm really proud actually that we were able to have. I think maybe we might have had the first one, or that it was number 2, but that we had 2 of the first 10, and you know, both the people that own them are people that I believe that those instruments will be played, but they will be treated like a museum piece. And I take a lot of pride in that. As somebody that works in retail, sometimes I get sad when I see instruments go, and then other times I'm really happy because I know that somebody's really researched. Like everybody who's invested in a platinum this year, they know your story, and I hope that they watch this because they're the kind of people that I think would be fascinated to know what went behind it. And you know, we've done collaborations ourselves, and it's been fantastic working with you the past couple of years on first the sus model, the cedar and mahogany, which we did together, I think purely because I needed a new ukulele and I wanted a Kanile'a with a cedar top. So that one has been just fantastic, and you know, a really good alternative to the K1s. So thank you so much for that. I mean, the team at Kanile'a, I feel like our relationship, you know, from the Southern Ukulele Store to yourselves has really grown. And you and I designed a ukulele together in lockdown.
Yep.
Via WhatsApp.
WhatsApp and pictures of pencil drawings and.
Yeah. So the Monaco ukulele. So this is based on your handwriting, I think. Is that right?
Yep. That's my handwriting.
That's your handwriting inlaid there. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? We haven't really talked about what you think of it. I mean, you just keep saying to me, "This wood looks great," and you send me a picture, and I go, "Yes, that wood looks spectacular," and then it shows up, and it looks like this.
Yeah.
But you know, what do you think? Having heard the Mango and having years of experience with Koa, does it have a place, do you think?
Oh, absolutely. It's with the low G. I know there's a debate, but I'm a low G guy myself. I like low G.
Me too.
Craig Chi might not like me saying that, but it's so rich, the Mango. When I was able to play the instruments as they finished, they're so rich, they're so full, and so unique. I mean, like look at that, the chocolate heart Mango. I mean,
every one is completely different, but they've all got, you know, world class. These look like custom shop instruments. I'm just so delighted that we can make this work and take a few of the things that I like about your other models, like the Cobra head. Is it Cobra? My brain's gone blank. It's late at night.
This is just a traditional thing.
Sorry, the Cobra's got the divot, but the stealth tuners. It's for me. It's the main reason I wanted to get you on this podcast, is just to be able to see you face to face and say thank you, because I feel like this is the crowning achievement of 11 years of working in music retail for me.
Wow.
Thank you for making me one with my name on as well. That was
of course.
That was awesome. I can't wait to get out and play actual gigs again, so I can take it out and show people and let them, you know, play it and ding it and knock it about and you know, tell its own story. So yeah. I mean, we even you know,
and it's a lefty too.
We got you guys make lefties. Who'd have thought?
Not many people really do, I guess.
No, I mean, you guys have been very accommodating. There are a few customers out there that really they wanted to invest in a high-end uke with an armrest or with you know, it's a small thing as a lefty, and if there's any lefties out there watching or listening to this, then just not having side dots, it's just so disheartening, because you can be a good player and all you need to do is glance down And having the safety net of the side dots can be the difference between playing your best and playing your worst. So just, even if that's the only thing that's really different, just thank you for accommodating lefties there. And
sure.
Hey man, I just I wanted to ask you a few more things about some of the customs you guys are doing, because it seems that in 2020 you have perhaps that's your brother learning and honing his craft a bit more, but you've had that really nice it's a sunburst, but it's kind of a, what do you have a really cool name for it? What do you call it?
Is that the red and yellow one?
Yeah, it's like
the Kailua sunrise.
The sunrise.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these,
being on the east side of the island, we get the sunrise. We don't necessarily see the sunset. So again, pulling into where we're from and what we call home, and trying to translate that to the world. But yeah, the sunrise.
Oh man. Also, there was a 19-inch tenor I recently saw with Brazilian rose were back and sides, and was it torrefied spruce top, or had something. Just, there are so many custom
with
things.
the vine inlay.
I mean, when the world goes back to normal, because as we film this, you're currently in lockdown again. But is at Kanile'a, you're also going through a move, so it's a difficult time for me to ask. But if somebody were to visit you guys, would they be able to do a factory tour under normal circumstances? And custom instruments. I know that you take orders through your website in addition to working with dealers. Yes.
Right now we actually haven't done a factory tour since March. I think March 19th was the last day that we did a factory tour. But under normal circumstances, when there's a bit more safety in the world, we are 100% gonna continue doing factory tours. The factory is not moving, thankfully, because that would be a major move. It's just our office space, our showroom space, and our studio space that is moving. But yeah, factory tours will be up and running. Custom builds, people can come in and design a custom if they like, or we will have some available. I think we just really love doing custom stuff. Not to say we don't love building the OHA and the K1s.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing K1 and production line stuff at all, but it's definitely exciting to do one-offs, isn't it? That's you have the capabilities, the facilities, the wood, the budget, the staff. If you have that at your disposal, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and now with more creativity in the room, so to speak, just the things that we're able to create, and now working more together, sort of alleviating each other's duties and having the time to do that. Because beforehand we were so short-staffed that there was no time for anything extra. It was kind of like we were talking earlier, was so many people are just maintaining and sustaining. But now with more people involved in the company, we have that time to, we call it working on the business as opposed to working in the business. Yeah,
that's a good way of putting it, for sure. Trying to keep things a bit lighter. I have two more questions for you. I won't keep you all day. I'll let you start your day soon. And
I could do this all day, but I don't want to keep you. I want to let you go to sleep. It's probably been a long day.
Yeah. So anyone watching this at home, I've done the full day at the shop today, and I've come back after putting my kids to bed to film this. So yeah, I'm missing out on that vital 3.5 hours of uninterrupted sleep before.
All right.
My son keeps falling out of bed.
Man.
I have a nearly a 4-year-old and I have a newborn, and my 4-year-old seems to fall out of bed every single night at the moment. So it's almost always between 1 and 2 a.m. You hear a big bang and you think someone's breaking into the house, and then you go in his room and he's just like, I fell out of bed.
He was doing that WWE slam in his sleep.
That's the problem. I've taught him too many of the wrestling moves now. In his sleep, he's kicking out of pins. Yeah. So the two questions I have. The first one, this is something I wanted to make a video about, but I wanted to talk to a Hawaiian about this, and perhaps I can touch on it at a later date. As an English person, I say ukulele and you say ukulele. And I find that if I say ukulele, I feel like I'm putting on an accent, and I'm almost being disrespectful to the word and the Hawaiian origin. As a Hawaiian, when you hear different people from different cultures and dialects say the word, does anything trigger in your head where you go, they're saying it wrong? Or does it just kind of wash over you and you're used to it?
I'm definitely used to it now. I think when I was younger, growing up in the industry, I guess it was I guess it would have bothered me a little bit, but now being older and understanding that, people, that's how people are brought up, and I wouldn't be able to speak or maybe necessarily pronounce somebody else's language correctly. Yeah. And I would hate to be judged in that respect. So it doesn't bother me. We just do what we do and continue to always try to speak and represent the language properly. But we don't expect anybody to know it or there's no expectation of like, you should know this, you should say it. It's not like that, people different strokes for different folks, and I don't speak any other languages, so I would hate to be judged in that respect. So it's
I get that. I think I get quite a hard time just because I have a YouTube channel where I have to talk about these instruments every week, and I get between 80 and 150 comments every week. So out of them, I will get 2 or 3 people either mocking how I say the word ukulele, which I don't say like that.
It sounds good when you say it like that.
That's because I practiced it. Because when the first time I went to NAM, none of you understood how I spoke. I went to a school where we didn't pronounce our T's properly, so it's kind of like common English. I talk almost like pastiche of what an American thinks an Englishman sounds like. So I say mate all the time, and I don't pronounce. But if I try to say ukulele, that's what's natural to me because that's what I grew up with, and that's how the word, I suppose, moved from the Hawaiian language into. It would have been, that 1914 World's Fair where the first ukulele was presented to somebody, and they handed it over to somebody from, I'm going to say Martin in Pennsylvania, and they said, "This is an ukulele." And the person from Martin said, "Yeah, I really like these ukuleles." And that person from Martin had the money to, to basically say it however they wanted. And that's just how that word changed. I try and think of it more like I'm rabbiting on, but this is something that I've always wanted to talk to a Hawaiian person about, because if I try and say ukulele in context, I sound inauthentic. I sound like somebody reading from a script, and that's not how I do my job. So I don't know if it doesn't offend you. I'm just going to keep saying it how I want. And And when I get comments on it, I'm just going to revert them to this video.
It's we're not here to tell anybody how to speak or tell anybody they're wrong. That's not, if somebody from Hawaii consider themselves to have aloha spirit, getting offended, getting upset, correcting somebody, that's not aloha spirit at all. So
I'm almost 99% sure that nobody from Hawaii has ever commented on one of my videos complaining about how I say it. I'm almost 99% sure that it's people from Europe that have never played ukulele with anybody else. I hesitated on how to say it then. It's ruined it for me forever. I'm always
sounds good when you say it.
When I say it properly.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Maybe I'll try harder. I had the same thing with Aquila, because everyone says I say that wrong. How do you say it?
Aquila. I say Aquila.
Aquila. See,
I've heard people say Aquila.
If I say Aquila, I get told that I'm right and I get told that I'm wrong, sometimes in the same comment section. So who knows, man? I just thank you for humoring me while I asked.
Sure.
I asked the natives what they thought.
Yeah.
You know?
No worries.
And just the last thing I want to talk about, ending on a positive look at the future beyond COVID-19. Where do you see Kanile'a going? Because it's clear that you and your brothers will be taking the wheels of the ship and steering it off into the future. Where is the future, and what would you like to do?
Well, so there's sort of, I don't know if it's a motto or a mission, but my dad has said it while growing up, and it's that he sees an ukulele, specifically a Kanile'a Ukulele, in the home of every person around the world. Whether
I like it.
Whether it's a custom instrument, made out of solid koa with solid gold inlays, or whether it's an islander instrument, we plan to have something for everybody. All throughout, we're currently working on something that is going to fill some of our gaps right now, because we understand that we do have some gaps in price points, that is, and it's at the front of our minds right now with what's next for us and the ukulele industry as a whole. And another thing is, we'll never stop innovating, never stop creating new things and new ideas. 2021 platinum, like we say it every year at NAM, is how do we top this?
Yeah.
And for about 3 months, we have no idea.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, what do we do now? And then I think there's especially between Joe and Kahiao, putting it into practicality, with myself being connected with the customers, with the dealers, and 2021 platinum, dude. I want to say it's about almost 30% to a put together prototype. So the first prototype is partway through production. Well, not necessarily production right now because all of our crew's at home, but we've gotten it about 30% through as far as the first prototype, and it's definitely something that's never been seen before. I can absolutely, without a doubt, say that.
That's cool, man.
And not just within the ukulele industry.
Okay, even better. So it's going to be a full-size guitar-guitalele with, I don't know. I really wish I knew. It's going to be a pineapple guitar.
A pineapple guitar.
That's something you should see. So yeah, man. Look, I really want to thank you for coming in.
Of course.
I'm absolutely delighted. Maybe we can do this again someday, and I can't wait until the world starts spinning normally again, so we can meet up and laugh about this podcast and talk about the future of Kanile'a and the Southern Ukulele Store working together.
Yeah. And thank you for having me. I see it as a gift for me to be here with you. I think I was super excited. Woke up a little extra early, do my hair a little bit.
I can tell you made an effort. I did too. I did too.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the first time I met you, you were in high school, and
Yep.
I probably had an afro. So where are we going to be in
I
10
think so.
years?
I think so.
Because you guys have thick heads of hair, and it's only getting worse for me from here. So we'll do this podcast again in 10 years, and I'll have a grey beard, and you'll probably still look immaculate, my friend.
You know.
You try. Thanks very much, man. We'll
Of
say goodbye
course,
for
of
the
course.
podcast for now. I'll see you
All
soon.
right. Aloha, everybody.
Cool. Thanks, man. I really